What's up guys, welcome back to another video where we're going to continue the Karlton flare install on the WRX. I know in the last video I said I was going to post the following week, but I wasn't taking account for the holidays, so I just took a week off, but I'm back at it. I have made a lot of progress since the last video, so I'm going to start off with giving you guys kind of a walk around in the car and the progress we've made so far. So here with the front fenders, they're pretty much all trimmed up. I do need to do a little bit of trimming right here. I'll show you guys that in a second. The rears are pretty much done as well. I do need to trim up the fender a little bit. It's not really mounted right now, but the flares themselves, these are the fronts. They're pretty much ready to go on. I've sanded those down. I do still need to sand up the rears a little bit, but once I get those done, I can hopefully get to wrapping them today. So let's go ahead and I'll show you what I need to do on the front fenders. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I have to do on the front fenders for now. I do have a little bit of trimming I have to do. Basically what happens when the car airs out, it hits the fender pretty much right here. It just barely hits it, so it's not too bad, but I just want to trim it up a little bit just to make sure that we are good to go and I don't want to have to worry about anything. You can see I have a battery charger on the car right now because it's been sitting and the battery was dead. So I'll go ahead and get the car fired up and I'll show you what we're dealing with. All right, so I'm sitting in the car right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pair up my airlift system to my phone so I can show you exactly where the tires are hitting. So I can show you here. This is where I have my controller mounted, and in order to get into the menu, you got to hit the center button and go down to, if I can get this thing to focus here. Come on. So you're going to go down to operation, go to Bluetooth pair, turn it on. All right, so ideally we would have the car running right now, but there's too much noise in here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it with the car off. So we'll jump into the airlift application. You can see I have it synced up. I have just a little bit of air in the front tire. The back tires are off the ground right now, so you shouldn't have to worry about those. But you can see here, if we lower the car, I'm just gonna do a full air out. You can see the tires just hit right on the top when it airs out. So I'm gonna go ahead and air up this side and I'll drop it back down just to show you here. Right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Dremel to the fenders a little bit so we can handle that, and then I'll jump to the rear. I know I said in the last video that the Dremel wasn't cutting it, but it's fine enough for just a small cut, so here we go. So just like I mentioned in the last video that I posted, I stopped cutting on the rear with the Dremel because it was eating through these wheels too fast. And just in this maybe 5 or 6 inch cut that I've done on the fender so far, the Dremel wheel is pretty much down to a nub. So this is actually my last wheel. I'm just gonna go ahead and switch to the angle grinder. Big Daddy. Easy peasy. Perfect. Okay, so I have the front fenders trimmed up the way that I needed to. I got them all trimmed up right here so that it clears. I do still need to trim right here on both sides. Basically, when you turn the tire, it'll just pick up the fender and rip it off. So fortunately, my friend has my jack right now, so I can't do that. So I'm just gonna do what I can on the rear, and I'll show you if I can find, I don't even know where the flares are, hold on. Here it is. So jumping to the rear, I pretty much have it all sanded up already, so it's ready to be wrapped. But what I have to do still is I have to trim up this little area. I have it sitting in the engine right now. Right here, it's basically the the lip that sits under the fender. It's kind of the same way that if you were to roll your fenders, that's the part that you would actually fold up. But I'll show you on this side since I have it mounted. So it might be hard to see without the light, but I do have to trim right here because as soon as I air out, it basically does that. It pulls it right off. That's just sitting on there right now. One thing to note is that these, I believe Karlton purposely puts a bunch of extra material in here. It's hard to come out on camera. Let's see if I can get it set down right here. So this is what I'm trying to trim in here. This area in here is really thick. It's pretty much solid fiberglass. So it gives you a good amount of play to actually be able to trim up the fender, or trim up the flare, and still have enough material to where the edges aren't, they don't get thin and weak. So fortunately, I'm gonna have to do some more Dremel work on this, so I'll just switch up to another cutting wheel if I can find one, and we'll get these trimmed up. So I didn't get too much of me trimming on camera, but I did get just the initial cut on the fender done. I got in here and I took a little bit of this out, just a little bit of a rough cut. I gotta smooth it up a little bit, but I got that done. I'm gonna get the car on the ground and lower it and see how much more or less trimming we may have to do. So we got the car on the ground, we got the app synced up in here again, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop the back side by side and hoping up in there will clear. So we're on the driver's side right now, so I'll drop the rear. You can see it getting real close in there, so let's go a little more. Nope. So I'm not exactly sure what hit, but something, you definitely heard some noise. So I'm gonna do it again and see if I can figure out where exactly it came from. Okay, so the sound that you guys just heard was actually the bumper popping because the bumper's not on all the way. But I'll show you here in a second. I got the car pretty much almost aired out where it's gonna hit. You hear Joseph over there. We get it, your car's loud, bro. But come on. So right in here, I'm gonna have to take that down a little bit, probably maybe that much. And if you tell up in there, that pretty much clears all the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna trim that a little bit. I'll throw the flare back on and then see how we're doing. I had to start the car because the battery was too dead, but I got the wheel on here. I got the car on the ground. Go ahead and pull up the app. Here we go. So that's all aired out. I don't have this mounted yet, but that'll go up right there. But it is pretty much perfect. So I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim up the other side the same way. And once we get done with that, we can get to wrapping them. So let's move forward. So I finally got both of the rears mocked up minus the forward-most mounting point. So I'll show you guys, I'll get it up on here. Got the airlift app up again. So I'm gonna go ahead and air out. With a nutsack's hair worth of room. So I'm happy with that, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these cleaned up and I can finally start wrapping them. You wanna help me with that? Yeah. All right, I got help to wrap. Let's go. Okay, now I'm actually coming to you from the future. It's actually been about a week since the last time I filmed. Last time I was working on the car, my memory card filled up, so I didn't notice it until it was too late, but I'll bring you up to speed. The fronts are done. I wish I could have showed you me wrapping them, but I guess I'll just have to make it up and do it on the rear. But for today, I'm gonna finish trimming up the rear. That side of the car is done. This side, we just have to trim it a little bit. You can see the car is aired out right now and the tire hits about right there. The battery's dead right now, so I can't really do anything. So I'm gonna let the charger charge up, get the car started so I can lift up the suspension, and then we'll keep going from there. So before I get moving forward with wrapping the car, I actually wanted to show you guys, I mentioned before about all the extra material that I believe Karlton purposely puts on the flares to allow for trimming. This is a piece that I trimmed off of the rear. You can see how thick it is, so comparing to my thumb, that was pretty much the lip right in there. So I had to trim that off to get the tire to fit, because when it airs out it would hit it. As I said before, I'm going to trim that little piece off. I'm actually planning on wrapping the bumper today. And as you can see, the car is dusty as all hell. This fiberglass causes a lot of dust when you're trimming it, so I'm going to get the car cleaned up while we wait for the charger to charge up, and then hopefully when that's done we can trim the final flare and then get to wrapping the bumper. Alright, so a quick update here. We got maybe a third of the bumper done, just basically from the corner to over there. So now we're gonna start on this side, and then we're gonna do this top part up here and down there last. Alright, here's a little update here. About 2 hours later, we got it pretty much, oh, this thing is tripping. Pretty much all done. We still have to trim the edges. Made a little mistake here, but whatever, I'm not a professional. Got another little one there. So now we're gonna trim this up. I'm gonna put a second piece inside where the license plate goes, but overall pretty good. Another hour. I'm pretty much done on the rear bumper. If anyone has tried wrapping before, I hate doing rear bumpers. I don't know if it's just me. I did make a couple mistakes. There's this little thing here on the bumper there. I haven't filled that in yet. Usually what I do on the rear right here by the license plate is I cut that out and then I put in another piece just to kind of fill up the gap there. This side turned out a lot better than that side. But as of right now, I'm pretty much done and I'm ready to throw the rears on and get these wrapped. These should be easy. Should only take about maybe 15-20 minutes a piece. So we'll get going on that. And after that, we'll pretty much be done. Mine's the door pieces, but I think I'm going to do the door pieces maybe next week or something like that, because those need a little bit more trimming and I honestly don't feel like doing it right now. So I'll just get moving on the rear pieces and hopefully we can get some pictures when we're done.